So this problem says the following is the graph of the function f of x. On the same axes, sketch a graph of the inverse function f inverse of x. So the easiest way to sketch a graph of the inverse function is to identify some points on the graph, first of all. So let's identify, here's a point that is 0, 2. Let's find another point. Here's a point right here that is -1, -1. And the idea of the inverse function is that you take all of the x values of the original function and you make them into y values. You take all the y values and you make them into x values. So basically, like if you have a coordinate x comma y on the original graph, to make it into the inverse, it would be y comma x. So for example, if this point here is 0, 2, then on the inverse graph, it would be 2, 0, or be right here. And then here we have this other point as -1, -1. So if we switch those, it's still, because they're the same number, it's still -1, -1. So once we have 2 points on a line, we can draw a line through it, because if our original graph is a line, then our inverse is also going to be a line. So we can draw a line through here, something like this. Okay, so that would be our inverse function. And then it says to use the graph of the inverse to evaluate the inverse, the derivative of the inverse at 3. So we're looking for the derivative at this point right here where x is equal to 3. And because this is just a line, the derivative of a line is the slope on the line. So we can find the slope using slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and use the 2 points that we just found. So because this at 3, it's a little bit hard to see where that is located. So let's just use the points that we know, which is the 2, 0, and the -1, -1. So y2, let's call that 0 minus -1 would be our y1, so it'd be 0 minus -1 over x2 would be 2 minus x1 would be -1. So minus a negative makes plus a positive. So this would be +1 over, again, minus a negative makes plus a positive. So it'd be 3. So the slope of our line and the derivative of our graph is 1/3. So the evaluation of the inverse derivative at 3 is 1/3. So I hope this walkthrough was helpful for you. If it was, please like and subscribe to my channel, and also share with anybody who you think would benefit from this channel. Thanks.